Hello, guys. I know that we have people in the room already joining us, and we're going to get to your questions and comments, but please hold those right now because I have a few things that I want to talk about and get off my chest first. I was just thinking about how a few years ago we were burglarized, and I don't talk about this very often. I don't like to live in the past, but we were burglarized about 3 years ago, right? Something like that.
2 days? No, 2 days before Christmas of 2013.
Yes.
To be exact.
And to me as a video maker and a YouTuber, this was very devastating because they stole the only material things that I cared about, which was my computers that I use for editing, all the cameras, I think 5 cameras in total. They even stole my memory cards and my external hard drives. So I had literally nothing, not even a smartphone to shoot a video with. But time has passed and I was looking around, looking at my stuff that I used to make these videos for you guys. And I was thinking, boy, I'm so grateful for everything that I have. We really recovered, and I think it was all a blessing in disguise. And I know that there's a lot of things that happens in your life where you think, oh, this is terrible, this is really bad, and then somehow later on down the line you're like, boy, I'm glad that happened to me because things worked out for the better. There's so many things that have happened in my life that turned out to be a blessing in disguise, where at the time I thought, oh, this is really devastating, and then like a few months later I'm like, boy, I am so glad that happened. And I was actually, the burglar, he actually blessed us because it forced me to...
He did. I would say he did not. It's the... Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead.
My point.
No.
It's not the burglar who blessed us. It's the circumstance. It's, indirectly he did, but I would say things worked out for the better for us because I strongly believe God's word is true when he said, all things work together for the good of those who love him. So, see, this is how it works. And no matter how we divert our path, the path that's set for us by God, that's my personal belief that I just would like to share with you. God still has his amazing ways to lead us back to where we're supposed to go.
Well, even bad guys can do God's work. And, someone like Anthony Weiner, I think he's ended up doing, ended up helping out the cause. Pope Francis, I mean, there's a lot of, I think that he's doing things that are making people realize a lot of things. And even PewDiePie, I think PewDiePie's content is garbage. I think it's trash. But I think people are learning some things because of the controversy that he's going through. For one thing, even for me as a YouTuber, it's like you try to please the YouTube gods. And a number of months ago, I angered someone at YouTube seemed to have gotten angry at me through a conversation where we had a disagreement. But PewDiePie, they built him up and they made him the YouTube poster boy because he did all this outrageous content, all this shock comedy and stuff. But the second he says something a little bit politically incorrect in terms of that's not in line with their agenda, boy, they canceled the second season of his show. Maker Studios and Disney dropped him. It's like he's a leper now. So even a YouTuber at that highest level, if you don't please your master, which is the bosses at YouTube, the bosses at Disney, that kind of thing. And it's funny, too, because that was all based off of a fake news story that took things out of context. The Wall Street Journal created an outrageous headline that went viral, and they also re-edited some of his videos, which they put ads on their site, through their player and put ads, so they were making money through his controversial content. But I think his fans, his 50 million subscribers, are starting to learn some things, so I think somehow that's a big blessing, not for him maybe, but just for the world at large. And for me, after we were burglarized, I'll get to your questions and comments for you guys that are live here in a second. I'm not trying to ignore you, but you can hold those for right now, please. But because when I look at some of my equipment that I have, I feel like I wouldn't have some of this stuff probably if it wasn't for that burglar, like
It was
forcing.
like a turning point.
Yeah, the burglar forced me to get outside my comfort zone. And one of the things I did, we started a crowdfunding campaign, which we have a crowdfunding campaign right now, Patreon. But the first one we did was Indiegogo, and that was to help me get money to rebuy equipment. And I'd been interested in crowdfunding for a really long time, but I was always kind of scared and hesitant to do it because it's kind of a risky thing for a few different reasons. You know, a lot of people get crap for doing crowdfunding. A lot of people, they're going to get a lot of hate because a lot of people are jealous too, that they don't like the idea that someone's living their dream in a sense and other people are making it happen, and they're helping, you know, create content, helping an artist create content and pursue their artistic dreams because they don't have the guts to do something like that themselves or the popularity. So you'll get a lot of hate from certain people if you do something like that. But also, like, doing crowdfunding as an independent artist, I think it's a very good thing. And I just took it as a sign that this is forcing me to get involved with crowdfunding, which I've been so hesitant to do. But it's scary to get involved with crowdfunding because you're going to learn very quick whether what you do really matters to other people. So, because there's always that thing, well, what if I start a crowdfunding? I'm going to find out these videos that I make or whatever you're doing, it doesn't mean anything to anyone. But I knew that going in, and I thought, if that's the case and no one wants to support this, it's just telling me I'm doing the wrong thing with my life and I need to take things in another direction. So to me, it was win-win. There was no way that you could fail doing that crowdfunding. So I mean, because either I'm going to find out that what I'm doing is the wrong thing and I need to go in a different direction, or it's going to work and people are going to support me and I can get new equipment, get back on my feet and creating content. But it all worked out. It was all a blessing.
Well, you were talking about PewDiePie and how you got burglarized and how that was a turning point and turned out to be a blessing actually for us. These are thoughts that I just want to share with you as well. And it's like I could not contain myself if I, so let me share these with you.
Go ahead.
Before we move on and try to check the questions. So, with PewDiePie's case, it just reminds us that the world can easily make you and break you. But on the contrary...
Especially this very superficial world that we live in these days, especially if you're a professional on social media.
Right. But one of the many faithful, amazing promises of God for us is, He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And why would we fear if we have God? I mean, there are just a lot of words of God's word in the scripture that comes to mind just listening to that. And personally, I think I'm hoping and praying that would turn out to be a blessing, a great blessing for PewDiePie. I heard, I'm not a fan or an avid viewer of PewDiePie, but I heard like his content is not really something that would, like for me, that would really enhance my spirituality or like would make me smarter and stuff like that. Maybe God is leading him to doing greater things that God really wants him to do. And that may not please the bosses or the big bosses of YouTube and other people, but that pleases God, and that's most important.
And like I said, I think a lot of people are like, he has those 50 million subscribers. I don't know how many views he actually gets on his videos, maybe 4 million, 5 million on average. Which is a very, very big number. That's a lot to get on a video. That's more than those late shows get and stuff like that. So when you put in perspective, I mean, he has a very massive audience, even if not all 50 million subscribers actually watch his videos. That's not the way it works out. But he has a very large audience, and all those people are starting to see these things. And the other thing, before we handle your guys' questions and comments, I know that you guys want to get into that, and we will in a minute. The other thing I'd like to put up a big news story this week that I'd like to touch upon. If you read Twitter, especially these days, boy, you're seeing a lot of nastiness on social media, Facebook, Twitter. you see all these people like putting out all this like crazy stuff, and my feeling is that you got to put up a wall, kind of like Donald Trump, I suppose, but you got to put up a wall around yourself sometimes in terms of the type of content that you're taking in. Does reading someone's tweets make you feel worse, or does it make you feel inspired or make you feel better? Or what about the people that you're hanging out with? Are the people that you're hanging out with, are they in line with your goals? Are they helping you move forward? Or are you hanging out with people that are doing drugs? Or are you hanging out with Joe Rogan on his podcast where he's trying to force you to drink whiskey like he did his guest the other day? That went viral. Like, I don't know if people get the reference. But, or it doesn't have to necessarily be druggies that you're hanging out with. Maybe you're just hanging out with people that don't have goals that are in line with you. They're not going to help you get where you need to go. So you need to put up a wall around yourself sometimes, and sometimes that means pushing other people off that aren't a good influence on you. Sometimes it's just putting up a wall around your mind. Like I said, are you watching videos or reading tweets or reading Facebook posts that are making you feel worse, that are just wasting your time and distracting you? Or are you like taking in stuff that's going to uplift you and make you feel good? Because the thing is, I've seen, and I'm going to get on the news story that I'm going to touch upon that went viral this week. If you end up taking in too much negative content, you can see what happens. It can make you go a little crazy. It can give you a very warped perspective. And the next thing you know, you're walking around seeing imaginary swastikas on the ground that just turn out to be surveyor markings, but you're like, these neo-Nazis have bad penmanship. They're not even drawing their swastikas properly, when obviously they're not actual swastikas. But that's what happens when you go around with that hateful, negative mindset. And you go around, you're going around, you're finding offense in everything. You're seeing things that aren't really there. In Sarah Silverman's case, she's seeing swastikas that don't actually exist. And then, of course, she was roasted, and deservedly so, across social media this week. All these people posting photos of construction workers and surveyors saying, oh my God, Nazis. There's one of a guy like working on something with a wrench, and they're like, oh, I saw a Nazi, and he's even giving a salute. Wow. So there's some really funny ones. There's one of a guy going in a manhole, a construction worker, or like a city worker, and like, these Nazis have secret underground bases everywhere.
You know what? I agree with what you've just been saying. I'm trying to take note of everything in my mind before I.
And you're kind of distracted by the comments that we're kind of ignoring for the time being,
but
we're going to get to. We're going to get to.
Yeah. It's very easy to find sources of discouragement in this world. Just go on social media, that it's already there. That's why I strongly agree with you that we really have to choose what we feed our mind, And in the same way, you were talking about you have to surround yourself with people who would understand and support your goals, your vision. That's really true. Even on the Bible, Joseph was not supported by his siblings, by his biological. They're related to him biologically. Their family, they're his brothers. They did not support him. They did not, because Joseph, remember that story, he shared his vision. He shared what God told him, what he's going to do, the super great things that he's going to do that's going to happen to him. But his brothers did not support him. And I know many of you know this story. That's why we really have to choose and be wise who to share our vision, our goals with. And actually, we don't really have to share them right away. It's more about we have to contemplate on it better. And when we have the goals, this is also a lesson I've learned. We have to act on it right away. Procrastination never helps. So that's
what I struggle with.
Just like with my YouTube channel, I really love talking to you guys. I really love dealing with people. When I was doing my radio show, I super love it, just hearing from people. It doesn't have to only be feedbacks or comments, but people asking for advice. Because I had this segment, Payong Kaibigan, or Featured Kachika Center. They send in their questions, they ask for advice.
She's talking about a radio program
Yeah,
that she
that
used to
I
host.
did,
She was a
yes.
host of a
that I
radio
used
talk
to
show.
host, right? So they ask for advice for love questions, family, relationships, etc. And it's so fulfilling that you get to share something with them, and you'd know how it also helps them and makes them happy as well. And that's the simple fulfillment, I would say. And I guess moving on, you know what? The comments are really moving so fast.
And they don't stay up on the screen because we
Right.
are using this new mobile app. And the reason we're using this, I know for years we've been streaming from my laptop, and we usually do it at nighttime. But we're using the new app, and the comments show up and then they disappear within a few seconds, and they're not like
Exactly.
saving there. We'd have to be looking at them from a separate computer, and we're worried about slowing down our internet. We have fast internet by Philippine standards, but we have very slow internet if you compare it to many other countries like the USA, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Because the comments are moving so fast.
I enjoyed your
We-
video. Shane
see.
Gable. Shane Gable just left one. Can you post that again, Shane? I'm sorry.
I know. I saw.
We could start addressing these
also
comments.
saw
I just
a-
want to get
I
that.
also saw a nice comment from Chris Smith, and I was trying to read everything, but somehow I saw some of you guys are talking about your engagement, coming to the Philippines, setting up a date. That's exactly what I'm currently working on as well, because I do many things. Part of it is working with Travis as a team for the YouTube videos for you guys. I also do executive tour management. So it's like, wow, you're preparing your trip. I
I
do
just
that.
saw
I
a good-
manage executive tours.
Okay, sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to cut you off, but I just saw a really good comment. Maybe they can post it again. Someone said they're scared to move to the Philippines, but they have a Filipino girlfriend apparently that really wants them to move to the Philippines in Novaliches,
Novaliches.
I guess.
Quezon City.
And but they live in California and they've never lived, or I'm not sure if they've even been outside the United States. So he's scared to move to the Philippines. Boy, this could be a topic for a whole other video. What do you have to think of that?
Well, just like what you always tell them, if you're not sure about it, give it a try. You stay in the Philippines for like how long first, and see how it feels, how it goes. Then from then, you could make a decision if it's really for you. Because Travis always says this, and this is based on his real experience. You will have a different experience between coming here for the first time as a guest, like just a tourist, like going around, touring around the Philippines, and when you really live.
Living here
for
long
good, or a
time,
long time.
is extremely different than coming for a vacation. But I'm not sure if you've ever been. That's something that I'm not sure if you've never been here. That's a big factor to take into consideration. If you've never been here, don't sell off all your stuff and move here. Is what you want to do is you want to come for a vacation and you want to make it as long as your job or whatever enables you to do so. If you can stay for at least 3 months, stay for at least 3 months before, okay, he was here. Okay, well then he knows a little bit, but
What's his name?
I'm not sure how long you were here for, but the best thing to do, and I have a book coming out on moving to the Philippines, but so wait for my book coming out. But some of what I talk about in the book is about how, and I actually have a video talk called "Why You Should Not Move to the Philippines." Shane, I'm going to get to that. It's going to disappear here. I'll get to you, Shane Gable, in a second here, because that's a good thing that I want to address his comment from what I could read of it. But going back to the guy that's afraid to move to the Philippines, one thing that you want to not be afraid. One thing that you want to do is before you move to the Philippines, if you're really going to move, you don't have to necessarily think in your mind, okay, this is forever, this is permanent. Don't put pressure on yourself like that. And one mistake that I see a lot of guys doing before they move to the Philippines, and they've come to the Philippines on vacations, they've spent a lot of time here, and they say, I'm going to move to the Philippines permanently. So is what they do is they start like making plans while they're still in their country, and some of these guys get a little bit cocky, and they start, kind of saying some things to people that maybe shouldn't say that they could potentially regret, but they figure, I'm moving, I'm never coming back, I'm going to live in the Philippines the rest of my life. So they start burning bridges with people, they start acting like a jerk, and aside from that stuff, sometimes they do things like they sell their house, or they really get rid of everything, which is not necessarily bad or a mistake. But my point is, what happens is, a lot of these guys, they come here, they move to the Philippines, or even some other place such as Thailand or something like that. A lot of people move to, of course. And they move to Southeast Asia, they move to Asia for like a year or two. They have a lot of fun initially, but eventually they get really bored living here, and like a lot of things start to wear on them, and then they start to think, you know what, I really just want to go back to my own country. But then they start thinking about, I maybe said some things to people that I shouldn't have said. I burned some bridges. I'm worried about, now I told everyone I'm moving to the Philippines permanently, and they're never going to see me. Now I have to worry about looking like a loser to these people. What are they going to think? So you definitely don't want to put yourself in that situation. You don't want to, like, if you're going to move here, definitely one of the top things I'd say is don't burn bridges to people. Don't be a jerk because you think, well, I can tell this guy off because I'm never going to see him again. And so don't get cocky. And even things to consider is maybe don't sell your house, because you won't really know unless you've been here a really long time. At least over a year. And even then, the people move here, and then they end up moving back all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame. A lot of the times in life, you don't know something's not for you unless you try it. So the best thing to do is try it. And if you want to move to the Philippines because of your girlfriend or whatever, if you really want to move there, it sounds like you don't really want to move, which is another issue. Maybe she could move to the United States. I don't know what the visa situation for you would be, because I don't know the other information about you regarding what you'd have to do for that. I'd have to know more about you and your situation to give advice for that. But it sounds kind of like he doesn't really want to move to the Philippines.
Or there's something about, maybe something is making him uncertain. Something stopping him from really moving. Maybe it could be out of his comfort zone. So it's really a big change.
He says he does actually want to move there. Well, if you really want to do it, then do it. And you said you're scared to do it, but a lot
maybe
of
that's a natural feeling, because it would be a new thing.
That's a natural feeling, and usually the best things in life are doing things that we're scared of doing.
I am curious though. Did you see his comment? Has he visited here yet?
Yeah, he said he has.
Okay.
We've missed a lot of comments. Shane Gable left a good one that I'd like to see again. Please repost that so we can like I said, they disappear. They disappear within a few seconds.
He said, I will do it. I will go for it. Yeah. Well, I'm going to pray for you.
This is probably the big disadvantage to using the live stream. The new mobile app, which they just introduced about a week ago.
This is interesting. Jordan asked, does the Philippines have American TV? Yes, we have that here. There are TV channels here that air American TV shows, and they even air old American TV shows, which I like actually on hits. I think they're based in Singapore.
Lately, we've been watching a little bit of Family Ties. We watched a little bit of Different Strokes last night.
Yeah.
That old show. We were watching some Happy Days. Happy Days is probably my all-time favorite shows. Oh yeah, Cheers. Cheers is the main thing we've been watching. Seinfeld, yeah, we've been watching. Yeah. So a lot of the classics.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get all that stuff here. It's not just like I guess we're making it sound like they're so behind. They're decades behind. Of course. There's new shows. They show Arrow.
American TV shows are also aired here, especially the very popular ones. But,
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I just
Arrow's huge here. Flash, Supergirl.
I just prefer some other TV shows.
They show that show Suits. I don't know if it's a real popular show.
He said I Love Lucy.
Okay, they don't show that.
Someone said
maybe they will though.
Okay. One thing he noticed was Filipinos wearing clean clothes. Is that what he said?
Nice, clean
Nice clean
clothes.
clothes. Well, yeah, of course. Unless you would see street, homeless or street beggars, that would be
Yeah,
another story.
or a taong grasa.
What's a taong grasa?
Greased person, literally, it's a greased person. But those are, if you don't know what a taong grasa is, basically, and like I said, it translates to greased person, is what it is. It's a homeless guy they're crazy, right? And they have male and female, both. But it's a homeless person that is like kind of almost naked usually, like they're maybe wearing like a little
Or
bit of
topless.
shorts. Yeah, they're usually like sometimes they can be even completely naked, but it's like they roll around in the dirt and they're completely. I like the video of the water park in Cebu. Are you going back to Cebu? It would be awesome if you made travel videos of Cebu. Well, we have a number of videos in Cebu,
the
but
water park and of one video prior to that, I think, and also the videos of his mom and dad coming to the Philippines, and one of the places we went to was Cebu.
yeah, if you look at that series with my mom and dad, we have a video or two in Cebu.
You'd see other things being featured in Cebu on those set of videos compared to the ones that you saw where we feature the water park and the water sports activities.
And one thing, like I'd like to address his comment because that was a really good video. We went scuba diving in Cebu. We did all these other water sports, but it didn't get a lot of views. And every now and sometimes I release videos and they don't get many views compared to other ones. And I think it's not just that people don't want to necessarily click on it. I think there's a problem, and I've heard a lot of other people complaining about this. Some videos, they don't show up for their subscribers and for other people. So it's kind of like something happened with that where it didn't get many views compared to like the other average videos I do. And it was a very good video, but it's almost like they didn't get a notification. And I notice sometimes I release videos and it seems like people didn't get notifications. A lot of really good videos people have missed. Like the second one on your tour, which we've released as one long movie now that's like 45 minutes long, so you can go straight to you don't have to watch like vlog by vlog. I edit it together so they go from one to the next. But we'll get to that in a minute. Take note of it.
Move on.
But so yeah, that scuba diving video. I think it's a really good video, but it's like people didn't get notifications, and that happens sometimes. So we got to work on a thing where I can send out text notifications. I do have an email list which you can sign up through my Facebook page. So we got to get you guys on the email list, and we got to work on getting a text list. So if people want these notifications, we can just send out a text message to them. And also, this is something I want to get to. Announcement time, guys. We are going to plan on doing... I know that you guys like videos about love, and you're always asking me questions about your love lives. We want to set up a new kind of show where we handle your... I was looking at something. But we want to set up a new kind of show where we handle your questions. And this is going to be something we'll have like a phone where you can leave us a voicemail and then we'll play it on our show. Or you can have the option of sending a video question. You can record yourself on your phone, email us the video, and we'll play it on the show. But we'll also have the voicemail option because I understand that a lot of people, especially with these more sensitive types of issues, they don't want to show their face talking about some of these, so you can just leave a voice message or email us a voice message. So we're working on setting that up. So think about that. You know how when I've done these other videos where I answer your questions, I kind of read them. Well, I'll let you put them in your own words, whether you want to do a video or if you don't want to show your face, you can just leave us a voice message and then we actually play it on the show and get back to you. I just think that would be... So we're going to set that up, I think, this week. So you guys will be able to send us messages, like your love questions,
dating questions,
and they can be almost about anything.
Especially,
not X-rated, maybe, but
many viewers have dating questions, and they are actually either looking for a Filipina girlfriend or wife, or they are already in a relationship with a Filipina, or they are already engaged even. And it's a common question, just like I think one of the questions that popped up, I'm not sure what the name was. He asked, he's wondering, he's asking if his girlfriend is legit.
We get a lot of
So-
questions, but like I said, you'll be able to send us either a voice message or a video if you choose, if you feel comfortable showing your face. We're setting that up this week, and I think it'll be kind of interesting. That way, instead of me reading your questions in my voice, you have the opportunity in your voice, and you can communicate with your tones of voice, and because reading something in text is very different than a voice. Most communication is actually nonverbal, or it's through tone of voice. So sometimes, like if you read Twitter and stuff, people don't come off, even like I've noticed with Donald Trump, his tweets come off are very different than when he does a press conference and answers questions, or he does a speech. When you hear him speaking with his patterns and his tone of voice, it gives off a very different perception than when it's just written in text. So
I think the question that was asking if his girlfriend is legit is from Brian. Thank you for that question, and watch out for what Travis just announced to you guys. That would really be fun. I would love to hear from you.
go like my
Soon.
Facebook page when this is over, and we'll have some instructions coming this
And
week.
what is
on
your
that.
Facebook page? What
It's
are they?
it's Travis Craft. It's facebook.com/Travis Craft Official.
Okay.
So Travis Craft Official. Also, I've been pretty active lately on Instagram. If you guys are into Instagram, it's also Travis Craft Official on Instagram. So pretty easy to find. So we'll have some instructions coming to my social media this week of how you can submit that stuff, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
For what's his name again, Mr. Gable? He was referring to the water sports videos,
Yeah,
right?
when we went out with a company called Marine Boy, J Park Marine Boy is their full name.
J Park Marine Boy Water Sports Center.
They're behind the J Park Resort.
Yeah, they were. I guess some of you guys were talking about the scuba diving and it has to be certified for the scuba diving. What do you call this? Instructor, scuba diving body, or whatever. What was fun with our scuba diving was, as a first timer, it was really fun. It was good, and I felt at ease because we were sure that a diving expert was with him. So even if I was a first timer, it really worked out well.
Someone's asking if I like NASA, and someone else said Travis does like NASA. Well, who wouldn't like NASA?
Why? Why would there be an issue not to like NASA?
I saw a funny thing, and I don't mean to be political with this. This is just a funny thing I saw on the internet this week. There was a picture someone posted, and it had a picture of JFK, and it said, "I'm going to put a man on the moon." And then next to it, it had a picture of Obama, and it said, "I'm going to put a man in the women's bathroom." That made me laugh. But I probably started up a whole storm now with that. But it's just a funny thing. I don't mean to be political. That just really made me
Well,
laugh.
I just said who would not want to like NASA? Or why would you think about not liking NASA? It's just an innocent question. I'm wondering. I haven't. Maybe I should research
He's
on that.
into space exploration. And when I was at your house recently in Calbayog, they have, and we actually showed like where you keep those books in like a bookcase, and we showed how you had a book about Donald Trump even there. That was kind of funny. You had a book about Donald Trump, an old book like from the early 90s, and it was really your book, and it was literally placed in the way the books were arranged in the bookshelf, in the bookcase. It was the book about Donald Trump was literally sitting next to the Quran, and I thought, I'm like, is that intentional?
But there's also the Bible in it, so they're all just mixed up there.
But that to me that was funny. So we showed that, like, because I kind of joked about that
You
in
should
one of my
check that
vlogs.
video out if you
I
haven't
think
seen
the
that
video is
yet,
called
guys.
"White Guy Gets Trumped in the Philippines" is the name of that video. That had to do with our Christmas celebration, and
Mark Del Rio, thank you for joining us.
What's up, Travis and Nero? How's it going? Going good. So, it's harder to read the comments because I would say the big downfall of when we use this app is the comments, how they pop up and a few seconds later they're disappeared. And we would use another computer, but I'm afraid of slowing down the internet. You have to have really good internet when you're live streaming. But funny enough, I live stream every now and then on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you are missing out on some of my live streams. But I live stream on Instagram every now and then. But people talk about people that also watch my YouTube people that also watch my YouTube live streams. They also say, "Boy, it's so much different when you're live streaming on Instagram because it just works so fast and so perfectly on Instagram." Now, I don't know why it plays so much more smoothly on Instagram than YouTube. You'd think YouTube would do it better. But we've actually been live streaming for over 5 years now. We have a whole playlist with our live streams. We've had some pretty good ones. Some of them actually have really a lot of views. That's just surprising me. I was going back through some of them the other day, and I couldn't believe some of them were getting like 40,000, 50,000 views.
Awesome.
I don't expect these to get that many views, but I know you're taking note of the comments. What would you like to say about that?
They're so fast, so it's not... I'm sorry. We would really love to address all your questions and read all your comments, but they move so fast, so a little bit... Some of them I get, some of them not.
Mark Del Rio, do you like to do karaoke? If so, how often?
I do!
I don't.
He's not into that. So when we go to parties, especially family parties, there would be videoke. I would sing, he wouldn't. But the fun thing is, I have an uncle who always does this videoke contest. Like if you get 100 for your score, you get money for your prize. How much is that? Like 1,000 pesos. How much is that in dollars? So
it's about $25.
So they would let me sing. I would also host the family event, and they would also let me sing, so I get the good rating on that. So I take home some money. That's really fun. You should learn how to sing, so you can join me next time. Anyways,
she's a good singer. I just don't like most music, especially these days. Robert keeps asking, what is my favorite food? Well, when you talk about food, Robert...
That makes me hungry.
You kind of have to put it in different categories.
Cuisine, you mean?
Because like I would put like junk food, like candy and stuff, in a different category than other types of food. So, favorite food, boy, that's kind of a hard one. Buffalo chicken wings is definitely up there. We go on the weekends, kind of like we have a little date. And we go to this place that serves really...
Date.
Yeah, places... It's different than our gym dates, which I did a video about this week. But we go to this place usually on the weekends. It's like a once-a-week thing. Last week was the first time that we went there in a long time. And they make really good wings, and it's hard to get good buffalo wings in this country. Much easier in the
Travis
US.
likes, for Filipino food, Travis likes caldereta, lechon, kawale, adobo, shrimp, squid, grilled, especially my mom's, how my mom cooks them, and many more. Okay, Steve E, thank you for posting the question again. I actually saw it earlier when you first posted it. He asked, are we gonna make a video about buying a vehicle in the Philippines or car dealership? Actually, speaking of cars, you should check out the test drive.
We did an off-roading video with
off-roading test drive video
with Land Rover. Land Rover Philippines. We went out to Pampanga and we did some off-roading here in the Philippines.
That was out of town.
That was kind of fun. A pretty interesting video. But is he asking if I've done one about a car dealership or buying a car? No, I don't think so. Maybe in the future. But cars here, I know a lot about cars here. They tend to be, in general, a little bit more expensive, I would say, than the U.S., which is why I think you see a lot of old cars, like from the 70s and 80s, that they're not like classic cars, they're not special cars. It'll just be like an old, like Toyota or something, but it still looks like it's in almost new condition. It'll just be like some crappy Toyota from the 80s, but it's in like pristine condition still. And it's an everyday driver car. So it seems like a lot of people, they want to, because cars here are more expensive, they have to make them last longer. So it's interesting how you see a lot of old cars that are not special cars, but they're in really good shape.
I saw a comment from Robert earlier saying he gets hurt when he rode minibuses. I think he's referring to
Like the ones in Cebu.
Jeep. No, maybe he's referring to jeepneys. Like, cause you get, you have to do that. Like cause you're like for Travis, you're so tall and it's so low, so that's not really a comfortable way to go around.
What are my thoughts on taking? What are my thoughts on taking jeepneys? Well, don't take them is my general thought. Now, they're okay if you're going a very short distance. Sometimes I take them if I'm just going a really short distance. But general, I don't want to take jeepneys because of the pollution and they're uncomfortable. So just take taxis. We haven't even. I was talking last night when we were going down the road after working out. I was talking about how boy, we haven't rode the MRT in a long time, which is the train. It's like a train here in Metro Manila. We haven't rode the MRT in a long time, and you said, yeah, I don't miss it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't either. The trains here are a paradise for perverts. I did a video on the MRT that a lot of people really enjoyed, but boy, that is really, there's some very perverted things going on that train.
You gotta be mindful and not to be complacent. You can't be so comfortable there.
Mike Gray says, is the MRT viable for daily commute to work? Well, I would say it depends where you work and how far the MRT station is from where you live, of course, and how far is the station then from your work. Those are, of course, big factors. But yeah, it could be viable it depends how far you're going to. So, but generally, it's not comfortable. Like I said, it is a haven for perverts.
Maybe if it's not a peak, if it's not
peak hours.
Peak
if you go in the
hours,
morning,
rush hours, maybe it could be better than the peak hours.
The worst time I would say is in the morning. There will have people lined up, really like a really huge line going out onto the street, and there are people waiting in the hot sun, in the pollution. I don't want to deal with any of that, man.
Yeah.
It's not worth saving a little bit of money just to, save a little bit of money.
For example, if you're wearing a suit or like long sleeves,
it's
and
full
you
of
get into
thieves
that.
and pickpockets
Yeah,
too.
you could. I mean, most of the time in the past, because we haven't been really riding that much lately, it could really get so hot inside, so you could sweat. So even if you're just fresh from the shower, and when you get inside the MRT, you'd lose that freshness. So when you go to work, you're either sweaty, not so fresh, or maybe you're already hungry also. We have, I think it's from Jamie. He has been so consistent with this question. He's been asking if I've been to US. No, not yet. And watch out for what's going to happen in the future. If that's your question, we'll be sharing stuff with you.
Milksy just left a good comment about riding the MRT. First of all, are you male or female? You always leave me such nice comments, but I feel like you're female for some reason. But this person said that they rode the MRT and they had a guy's armpit on them the whole ride, and then the rest of the day they had to go around smelling like BO. So, hi Anthony Smith. Anthony joining us.
Hi Anthony Smith.
Anthony works here in the Philippines. He's in one of our videos where we went to one of the YouTube events.
And he's a very nice guy.
So I'm sure he has his own take on the whole PewDiePie debacle, whatever you would call it.
That's a funny story you said.
He works for actually an MCN here in Manila.
Right. Anthony does. Yeah, I couldn't get over from the MRT story yet.
Go ahead.
Yeah, see, so these are just heads up for you. If you want to take the MRT during rush hours, be ready for that. And say if you have your bag or whatever, make sure you're there in front of you. Don't leave anything in your back pocket or side pocket. You wouldn't really know. One time, we've already told this story a few times in our previous videos and live streams. We were in the MRT and we heard And we went to MRT, and then two foreign guys, they look like Middle Eastern guys, got in the MRT, and then eventually when it was already when we were already moving, he yelled like, "Is there police here?" And I was wondering why. And then he said, "Oh, he got my cell phone." She actually, that was a girl, right? She got my cell phone, and then the Filipina was saying, "No, I did not." And you know, like the sound of her voice, the tone is like trying to get sympathy from the other passenger, especially that she's Filipina.
And he's a foreign guy, like a Middle Eastern guy.
Fellow Filipinos like me would sympathize with her, but
People didn't sympathize with her, thankfully, because they knew she was a thief.
Yeah, and then
but they wouldn't help the foreign guy, the Middle Eastern guy either. We were the only ones that helped him through giving him advice. When he grabbed her, I said, "You do not let go of her." Good. Now this guy showed a lot of restraint. I think because he is a foreigner here and he doesn't want to get beat up by a crowd train full of Filipinos. But me, I probably would have flipped out on her, and God only knows what I would have did. Like, I don't like people trying to steal my things. I don't care if you're a female. I'm an equal opportunity hater when it comes to hating people that try and steal from me or do me wrong. So but he held on to her, and I told him, "You do not let her go. You hold her tight. Don't let her get away." When we advised him to get off at the next stop, and we said there's a police station there, you physically hold on to her, and you physically walk her over to the police station, and you turn her into the police. Now, now what happens after that? We don't know. That could be another story. Maybe the police just say, after he drops her off, say, "Oh, we'll take care of her," and then they say, "Go ahead," because maybe the police don't want to deal with it. Or maybe something actually happens where they book her, but it's probably considered a fairly small crime, stealing that guy's cell phone.
That woman worked in connivance with another person.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Because according to the guy, I think the cell phone was passed on by that woman. Oh no, someone got it from him.
Well, she got it before she could pass it off. Like, he grabbed her. Because what they do is they have people working in teams. Someone will pick the pocket, and then they hand it off to someone else, and then they take off. So SoCal, Magic Mountain, Disneyland. Someone wants you to visit these places. So I want to get to that.
They're talking about us going to America.
But he mentioned Disneyland. Do you want to go to Disneyland?
Why not? And it was just for tour experience.
But when you go to Disneyland, here's my piece of advice. Do not hold a sign that says "Kill the Jews," because as we found out with PewDiePie, Disney will not want to work with you after you have video, if you're seen holding a sign saying "Kill the Jews." So that's my advice for you, Imabel. So you're going to have to leave your "Kill the Jews" sign at home if you visit Disneyland.
Okay, thank you for the advice.
But I used to work at the rival of Disneyland. I actually worked briefly at Six Flags in Valencia, California. I was Batman. They hired me to be Batman, because they have costumed characters like the Justice League. They don't have Superman, but I was Batman briefly. So that's like the rival of Disneyland, Six Flags. And I think Six Flags is way better. I'm not saying that because I'm biased because I work there. I don't really care.
Some sort of loyalty, huh?
But I haven't actually even been to Disneyland, but I feel like it's something for kids. And Six Flags, it's more the daring type of rides, the really thrilling, exciting type of rides. And that's more what I'm into. I don't want to ride on some teacups or whatever they do at Disneyland.
Okay, someone asked if the Tagaytay is nice, and Stevie already answered it. I think that was from Robert, if I got it right.
Yeah, Tagaytay
is very nice. And of course, if you want to get out of the warm Manila, you can try to go to Tagaytay. But of course, if you want some cooler place, go to Baguio. But it hasn't been hot lately. Like, you really feel the cool wind breeze, and I love it.
We got a question someone asked, do I watch shows on Netflix? Am I a Netflix subscriber? No. I know that a lot of those Netflix shows, they're highly acclaimed. I haven't even seen them, so I can't really just hate on them or judge them so well. But I'm not really that interested in most of that crap. It's just more typical mainstream crap, even if it's not traditional television. And of course, they had that big controversy like a week ago with their new show, Dear White People. I don't need to like pay money to log on to a website, I guess, and then see Dear White People and have reminders of telling me how I need to behave. And I haven't seen the show. I know it's a comedy show, and it's not good to take everything so seriously. But I don't think something like that's my cup of tea. And that it's hilarious, like the video they uploaded, all the thumbs down versus the thumbs up. The commercial too that they uploaded to YouTube, it showed white people dressing in blackface. Now, I've known a lot of white folks in my time. I've never seen one dress up in blackface, ever. So it's like they're speaking out against a problem that doesn't even actually exist.
But in the old days, white actors had to
in the old days,
black makeup
they'd have white guys play. They would wear that
to portray
like a minstrel show.
Characters.
Just like in the old days too, they didn't have female actors. They had men playing women, especially like in Shakespeare's day and stuff like that. So, but obviously things have changed. But I've never met a white person that dressed up in blackface ever. So they're complaining and trying to educate us about a problem that they just made up. That doesn't exist. Like I said, I've known a lot of white people in my life. The only white person that I've ever seen wear blackface is Ted Danson from Cheers. And like I didn't see him personally, but there was photos of it when Ted Danson wore blackface. He wore it to Whoopi Goldberg's like birthday party. He was dating Whoopi Goldberg at the time, and he showed up as a joke. But Ted Danson, as we know, he's not some Donald Trump loving conservative middle American white guy. He's a far left Hollywood dude that's a big time Clinton supporter and such. So it's not like it's he's a liberal guy. He's very, very liberal, but he's the only guy that I've heard or seen wearing blackface, and he did it as a joke to his black girlfriend. So, but that was a controversial thing. When I was a little kid back, this is like maybe mid-90s or something like that. This is after Cheers even, I think. So, but that was a thing when I was a boy.
Someone posted, I can't remember the name, Blue Lives Matter.
That's for police. So we keep getting questions about our internet provider. I've answered this a lot, especially in our streams, but I guess I'll reiterate. We used to have Globe when we lived in the other place, but Globe treated us like pure crap when we were moving and getting our internet changed. Globe made things so difficult that we were forced, because they were too lazy to transfer the line, which they could have done. They wouldn't even want to talk to us. They were just so, it's really ironic, they're always trying to get new customers. They totally neglect long-time customers. We had Globe for like 5 years. Globe treated us like pure crap. But we moved into this new place. We switched to PLDT because we had to. Globe they were not interested in keeping a long-time customer like us. So they wouldn't hook us up, so we had to switch to PLDT, and we're much happier with PLDT, at least for the time being. We got much faster internet. We don't seem to have all the interruptions that we used to have when we had Globe. But it's ironic, like my second day living in this new place, I went downstairs by the pool. They had a Globe booth set up trying to get people that live here to sign up for Globe memberships, to sign up for Globe Internet. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. After you refused to transfer me as a longtime customer moving in here, now you're trying to get the residents of this building to sign up for Globe Internet here. But it's like, you got to be kidding me. So the answer is Globe definitely sucks. They're an unethical company. And I know in most countries, like even in the United States, these type of companies, they tend to jerk their customers around because they feel like they can do whatever they want. They almost have monopolies. So there was an internet company from Australia that wanted to come and start up business here in the Philippines, but I think the government got it blocked because the two major companies here, they paid off the politicians.
That was before Duterte.
This was maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. It's before the new president. Maybe he would have approved it. I don't know. but there was a company, I believe I can't remember the name, but they're from Australia.
Virgin? Which one?
No, an internet provider.
I
It's an
can't
Australian
remember.
company.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't
I
have
know.
it in the United States. But they said, we're going to
I think
open up.
they're
They got it
gonna
blocked.
Yeah, but I saw like they're actually gonna open, I mean, like, do business in the Philippines.
Well, they announced they were going to do business, this Australian company, and they said, we're going to provide you way faster internet, and it's going to be cheaper than the other companies in the Philippines are giving you. And all the Filipinos, of course, they got excited. Yes, finally we'll get good internet service, and it's even going to cost us less. But the other companies, I guess they got the politicians to block them from being able to open up business here, so it didn't happen. So we're still stuck with Globe and PLDT as your basic options. So, but Globe, I can't tell you how much they suck as a company. Just a terrible, terrible company. And every time, even though I'm no longer a Globe customer, when I go Facebook and stuff, I see their ads. I see their ads all over on YouTube. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. Stop. And they're producing all these really lame internet videos. It's like, hey, stop trying to entertain us with your stupid videos and serve your customers. That should be your number one job, your goal. Keeping your customers happy. I mean, you can get new customers, but you're not going to get them with those stupid, stupid internet videos, those stupid YouTube videos that they're doing. They're just cheesy. Just Globe, take care of your customers, especially long-time customers. We were customers for years. You treated us like garbage, Globe. So if I have any message to spread today, other than the very positive stuff I suppose we started out on, but I would say try to avoid Globe the way Disney's avoiding contact with PewDiePie these days.
Well, unless they improve their service, but it's been a long time. And you would see people also complaining about Globe, so... But if it works out for you, if you're a Globe user, then so be it. But we're just sharing what we experienced with the kind of
I
service
never
they
liked
have.
them. Even all those years we were
Through
customers.
all the years we were using it.
There was lots of interruptions, and if you ever need to call support for anything,
Actually,
they don't care about you.
Actually, it used to be Buy and Tell, the one we have. And
That's
it
right.
was actually...
Then they got bought by Globe.
It seemed better than when it was bought out by Globe. So
And Globe's a bigger company.
It's like Globe just didn't really give as much value and love to their customers, considering that the customers that they have now originally came from Buy and Tell. So that really sucked.
Mark Del Rio,
Anyways.
do I play video games at all? Nope. I try and spend my time doing other things, and I didn't grow up with them. So...
Yeah,
My parents didn't buy me any of that when I was a kid. I played a little Super Mario Brothers as a kid whenever I could go over to someone else's house that had a Nintendo, but I liked that. I liked Super Mario Brothers.
we had a family computer as a kid.
But if they're not from the Philippines, they'll think you're talking about literally a computer. You're
But
talking
you've seen
about
it, right?
I saw it in the stores. They brought it back. I only know about because you talked about. We didn't have that in
You didn't
America.
have it in America?
It was kind of like an
But
Atari.
we
is
also,
what you're talking
yeah,
about.
I also played Atari a little bit, but because that was at my friend's place. But what we had was family computer. We played Mario, Galaga, Battle City, those other stuff. And their tapes were like this, like that, like small rectangular.
Someone
kind of
said,
thing.
"Is anyone else watching this naked?" Well, we're both naked from the waist down.
What?
We figured we're just going to be seen from the top, so there's no reason to put on any pants.
Anyways, don't believe him. My other foot is like getting numb. I guess you have to. Move it.
I'm sure a lot of you other guys have seen our other live streams. We usually do it at the computer, and we're sitting on the couch. or
Should
we're
I
sitting
get the
on a
laptop
chair.
and try to read
Because we're
the
missing
comments?
these comments.
Yeah, but we gotta give you a heads up, guys, that when we start using the laptop to check the comments,
slow it down.
might slow this down. So
I say that don't get it
please
for
bear with
now.
us. Huh?
I think it was Terrence Brown. Was it Terrence Brown that
I
left
didn't
this?
see.
Do I watch videos by other Americans living in the Philippines? No. For one thing, I don't know that I would necessarily be entertained by them. I'm not all that interested in looking at the Philippines through a screen when I see it in 3 dimensions just in my own real life, in my own daily life. But also, like, especially a lot of those guys, they seem to be talking heads from what I've seen, and they're not going to tell me anything I don't know. I've been here longer than most of those guys. I've been coming here at least long. My first time in the Philippines was back in 2003, and I really fell in love with it since 2003, and I kept coming on and off throughout these years, and then I came back more long-term in 2012, of course. But and like I said, a lot of things change, a lot of your attitudes, a lot of the way you look at things change. Living here long term versus living here short term, and I have to try and keep things in perspective running my YouTube channel too, because I get a lot of hate from people from all different countries, people from all different races. I guess they're uniting in their hatred for me. No, but you know, I would say to anyone starting out a YouTube channel, especially probably a kid, I'd say you're going to get a lot of hatred and people criticizing every little aspect of you or who you are as a person, but you're also going to get people that are saying really nice things about what you're doing. And I would say don't even focus, try not to focus on the negative. I know the human reaction is you can get 100 really positive comments and then you get one really mean comment, and most people, they're going to focus on the mean one. But I'd say fight that urge, especially someone just starting out, especially like a teenager. And I'd say it's okay, especially in the beginning. Look at the YouTube comments that are really nice, and it's okay to really dwell on those and really like allow those to make you feel good. And regardless of what you're doing in your life, I'd say there's probably things that make you feel good, assuming they're not things like drugs or alcohol, something negative. But it's okay to like take things and really enjoy them and just say, oh, this makes me feel good. Really experience that feeling of happiness and feeling good, and it's going to make a lot of other things go better in your life, I would say.
Yeah, like what I mentioned in our previous live stream, even though you have the sincerest intention of expressing or sharing your positive thoughts and experience to perhaps inform or inspire or encourage others, there would still be negative people who would think that that is not positive, that is not good, because they're just being negative. That's just how negative people are. So it's somehow similar to when you have your goals, when you have your vision. When God gave you this one vision, you cannot expect everyone to support you, back you up. Even people close to you would oppose you or not support you. So you just have to surround yourself with the people who really understand you and who would encourage you. Negative people, they're not really healthy to keep, just like on Facebook and social media. So if
Facebook can really make you feel bad. Instagram too. I've been using
if
Instagram.
they get rid of you on their friends list, then so be it. That's actually a blessing. That's an advantage to you, because why keep negative people around, negative friends on Facebook anyways, right?
But it kind of goes back to what I was talking about in the very beginning of the stream, of how you want to try and guard your mind and try and be careful of what you're taking in. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't hear complaints or that complaining even is always bad. There are a lot of negative things in this world, and I think that it's very beneficial to take an honest look at them and take them in. Especially, like, I don't like complaining for the sake of complaining. I like the type of complaining where someone will put out a complaint, but their reason for doing it is to try and find a solution to the problem. Just ignoring problems all the time isn't a good thing either. It's like some people, we talk about positivity a lot, and positivity is generally best for you and where you want to be at. But let's say you have a garden full of weeds. You can't just say, there's no weeds in my garden. There's no weeds in my garden. All positive thinking. If I just think positively, they'll all go away. Sometimes you gotta say, you know what? There's weeds in my garden, but so what? I'm gonna pull those suckers out, and then I'm gonna move on with my life. But just ignoring them or pretending like the weeds don't exist, that's not healthy either. So there can be good forms of complaining. Especially, I think these days there's a lot of people waking up in our societies. I think there's a lot of things that we gotta take a real hard look at that are maybe not so pleasant, and it's beneficial to do some of that. But you got to keep a balance. You got to also take in some positive. You can't take in pure negative, and I think you can't also just try and live in the clouds and ignore certain realities, because being aware of certain things, that could really harm you. Like some people said that my videos turned a little bit negative, but I felt a responsibility to my viewers because I was doing all these really fun travel videos, very cheery. But then all these people started writing me, Travis, I watch your videos, so I'm going to go to the Philippines. And I started to think, well, maybe my videos are presenting a very skewed, which was not my intention. I thought I was making fun travel videos, but maybe to the viewer, they think that there's nothing bad, there's nothing that they need to worry about, or nothing that they need to be aware of. And my philosophy is, like as someone just posted in the comments, weed prevention, like weed killer. An ounce of prevention is, like they say, an ounce of prevention is, worth so whatever the expression is. But there's so many things that are easily preventable if you just take small measures to look at the negative, and then you say, okay, and then you take a little bit of prevention. It can make things from then on there out go so much better.
Right, and there's what you call constructive criticism. There are things that people tell you that could really help you improve. So that's something to be open to. You can't just always, I agree with you can't just be super positive. If there's something to be addressed, you gotta address it. So, and if it's also gonna benefit you in the end, that's also something to be sensitive about.
Yeah, and I was thinking just yesterday, there's a guy I watch on YouTube. I'm very into photography, not just video, but still photography. And there is a guy that he does these. He runs a photography channel, and he does these critiques that other people send in. But this guy himself, he doesn't like to be critiqued, and he admits. One thing I like about him is he doesn't take criticism very well, and he knows it, and he admits it. But because he also does these other types of critiques where he critiques other people's work, I think it makes him better when he does critiques because he always keeps in mind, hey, I need to be honest with give honest feedback, but I also have to put it in a way that is beneficial to the person hearing it instead of just insulting them. So he can be very honest in his critiques, but he also knows how to phrase it in a way that's sensitive to the artist because he knows what it's like. He admits he doesn't take criticism very well. But I'm glad that he can be honest about it because sometimes living in denial and just trying to be positive all the time, that ain't going to benefit you either, my friends.
Yeah, Jordan asked where or when we met. You know what? I advise you to watch the video, one of our vlogs, and what's the title of that video?
It's called Our Amazing True Story in the Philippines, and just search for that on YouTube, on my channel, Our Amazing True Story in the Philippines. It answers all those kinds of questions, and this is tomorrow. Actually, maybe we should do another special stream for this. Would you guys like to see us do an anniversary stream? We did an anniversary stream 3 years ago on our 8th anniversary, and that got like 45,000 views or something on YouTube. So you can go back through the playlist of live streams that we did. 3 years ago, we did one on our 8th anniversary, but tomorrow is our 11th anniversary. Should we do another live stream, a special anniversary live stream? Maybe since it'll be weekend in the United States, we could time it to where it's nighttime
Robert
for us.
said, yes, do it. Thank you.
So, and if we do it from the computer too, we could do it nighttime from the computer, not using this app. We'll be able to see their questions better because they'll stay up and we can scroll back to them. So we can get to their questions a little bit better than through when we use the app.
Thank you, Christopher. Thank you.
And if we do it at night,
go ahead.
If we do it at night, we'll use the computer, but it'll be morning for them, most of them, at least if they're in the Western Hemisphere. It'll be morning in the Americas, and it'll be nighttime for us, which is often usually we prefer doing them at nighttime. Actually, we're a little loosened up and relaxed by then, and. So maybe if you guys want us to do it, leave a comment. Tell us.
Oh, they've been saying it. Christopher DeBona.
We've seen some,
and the other one, I can't remember the name. Sorry.
We've seen some pop up there.
Chris Kevin, watch the video so you'd know. Okay. There was a question from someone. I'm sorry, I missed your name. He said, which is better, Philippines or Thailand? That's also addressed in a few videos.
I have probably at least three different videos covering that. Some of them have a lot of views too, but we're going on longer than I planned. I want to keep these morning live streams. I'm gonna start live streaming more. Oh,
And the iPhone is going low on its battery.
I'm getting a thing saying low
Thank
battery
you,
warning.
Marcus.
But we might start live streaming more often. And during the week, we can do a mornings. Weekend, maybe it'll be nighttime for us. Because like if we do a mornings like this for us, it's nighttime for most of you guys, so it's easier for you to tune in live, at least if you're in the Americas. And on the weekends, though, it doesn't really matter as much. If we do a nighttime for us, it'll be morning for them, but most of them won't have to go to work anyways, so I figure that's a pretty good time. But like I said, I also want to start up that thing where I take your voice messages and your videos and I answer your questions. I can incorporate you in the video. If you don't want to show your face, it can be just a voice message. We're going to work on setting that up this week. So go to my Facebook page to await instructions on how to go about doing that. And what else, Imabel?
Well, actually, I saw a question earlier about renting an apartment, and someone said it's hard to get out of lease in the Philippines. Those are really good points. And actually, another announcement. Just watch out.
We can't get to that right now.
Yeah,
That's a long topic.
I know. Just watch out for Just keep watching. Make sure you're updated with our videos. And at the right time, we're going to announce, because we've been getting a lot of questions about renting apartment and buying apartments or condos, and maybe one time we could do something about that and also be of service to you in any way. So, in the future,
doing these live streams is a lot of fun. We've kind of toned back on some of the regular vlogs I've done. Those are great. They take a lot of work. These take less work, and I think in some ways this is some of the best content I do, some of the most beneficial for the viewer, and it's easy for me, and it's a lot of fun for me. I think this is like some of the most fun stuff that I do, because you used to host a radio program, and I've always liked talk radio, and I kind of always wanted it's always like a fantasy to have my own talk radio show. So we've been doing these live streams intermittently for over 5 years now, and we have a whole playlist where you can go back from the first one. My cousin, he actually listens to them at work, my cousin Tom that was just here, but they're a lot of fun for us, so we're going to focus more on those. I think YouTube is pushing more for people to do live streaming. Robert says, "You're the best, Travis." Thank you. Glad to be of service for you, glad to hang out with you guys, and if you really want us to do a live stream for our 11th anniversary, leave a comment, and even after this uploads as a recording. So, what would you like to say, Mabel? Sorry.
now I kind of lost it.
You're at a loss for words.
What am I gonna say? See, because I was already like there, but I can interrupt you. Anyways, well, what makes it so fun to do live streams like this is that we get to interact with you real time, and we love hearing from you guys. That's why I said we really love reading your comments, addressing your questions, but the comments are moving so fast on this format.
Like I said, when we do it from a computer, we don't have that
We're
problem
using
because they
we're
stay
using
there.
a
And we
phone
can
right
scroll.
now, so we couldn't really see all your questions.
This is the new YouTube live streaming app that they released just this week from YouTube. If you don't have it, it's because you have to have over 10,000 subscribers to use this right now. So that would, if you're not seeing it on your YouTube app, that would explain why. It'll be released to everyone eventually. I don't know when, but they're going to make this available right now. It's for people that have over 10,000 subscribers only.
Right. And every day we also get a lot of questions from you guys, from the viewers around the world, asking for travel tips. Is it safe in the Philippines? What do we do? Where do we go for fun in the Philippines? And all these other questions, even visa questions, how to get married in the Philippines, and a lot more. So we are so thankful to our Patreon family who support us, and because of them, it also makes it easier on our end to know who to prioritize first in addressing the questions. So that also helps. Plus, it really means a lot to us because making these videos, it takes a lot of time from our daily lives. I too do things. I also work. In fact, I'm working on an executive tour right now. I'm preparing for some tours, and Travis also does other things. He does, he acts, he does TV shows and all these other things. But we go out of our way to still make these videos for you. So getting the support from you guys and also from our Patreon family really means a lot to us. Because of you guys, we are still here making videos for you to entertain you, inspire you, and inform you.
So I want to say, I'm sorry if his name is gone now, Red something. I'm sorry, I don't know the full name. It starts with Red. He left a comment. He said, "Take care, Superman and Wonder Woman." I don't know if he saw the live stream from last week where I showed your new swimsuits.
You want me to get
it? Go get it before we go.
Hold on.
If you can do so quickly. But yeah, I don't know if you saw that live stream from last week. But she has something very special that she's getting to show you right now.
I haven't tried it on yet, actually. I'm not sure if it fits me.
They look a little big, but she hasn't tried them on.
They look big for my size. This is only one size, right? Hold on, where do I get it? Okay, this one, I have two. And these two are gifts from Travis for me.
They're swimsuits.
Okay, starting off, swimsuit contestant number 1. There you go. Oops.
Wonder Woman.
And choo-choo. There you go.
Red Rollins Rancher is his name.
And then this is the back view. There. See it? And
so she has a Wonder Woman swimsuit there.
I host events, birthdays, weddings, 18th birthdays, corporate events, any kind of social event. And one of the birthday soirees that I hosted I wore a Supergirl costume. I was a Supergirl in it. While I was hosting the event.
We should post some pictures. I think you have some on your Facebook.
And we were also in Superman. He was wearing Superman. I was wearing Supergirl costume on a birthday party, a family loved one's birthday party.
We got it. We got to get your website up and running.
And this one is the other one. I think I like this better.
Supergirl swimsuit. These look a little big, so I don't know if they fit. She hasn't even tried them on.
It doesn't seem like it's so flexible that it could just really fit.
They are flexible, but it looks too big.
Maybe. We'll try. Hopefully it would...
They're stretchy,
it would shrink when I wear it.
If they were smaller, they only came in one size. I ordered those for her as a surprise.
Unless I could wear them as a top and I'll just wear something.
You could almost.
But
it's I'm worried about it being loose and baggy because seems like these are more for
you can't
white
send this to the laundry. You have to hand wash this.
I ordered them from China actually, but
yeah,
and they only make one size.
It was supposed to be part of his Christmas presents for me, but
came late.
Because it's peak season, the postal, the post office delivered this to us after New Year. Around, that was already February or January, late January, I think. Yeah, we got the notification and then I
seems we have someone
and picked it up.
Seems we have someone messaging from Minnesota. Hope you're well out there. But something I'd like to say, I mentioned that we're going to start doing these more often, these live streams. During the week, we'll try and do them what's in the morning for us. It'll be nighttime for you if you're in the Americas. And on the weekends, we can do them nighttime for us, morning for you. We'll probably do one tomorrow night for us for our anniversary. But I'm going to try and keep these under an hour from now, and I'll do them more often, but try and keep them under the hour. And then later, after they upload, I can do show notes, which it'll give a time code, and it'll talk about whatever we talked about, so you can jump around and access things that interest you by topic really quickly. I don't think I can do that for this one because this one went far over an hour now. But thank you guys for joining us. We'll try and do an anniversary live stream probably tomorrow night for us. So Dan from Idaho, thanks for joining us. But
we really love to send shout outs to each one of you and say your precious names. But like what we said, the comments move so fast. But
if we do it from the computer, we'll see them.
Yes. But
better.
Please know that we really appreciate your time hanging with us right now. It makes the live streams more fun. And if you were not able to start, try to watch the recording. Hopefully it's complete. And we love you guys. Have a
All right.
blessed weekend.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye bye.